Everyone, it's Emily Fox. Today's video is going to be all about the last books that I finished in 2023, so my December wrap up. I thought it would be interesting to also include not only the books I'm currently reading, because I'm probably reading my first 5-star of 2024, but also to continue. I did a video in October where I mentioned if I had to choose like one single best book per month of the year. I did it for the first 9 months of the year, and I thought it would be interesting to do the same for the last 3 months just to make things more interesting. So let's get to it. I didn't finish that many books because December was pretty crazy, but I did finish a couple that were worth mentioning. But this is The Jasmine Throne, and this is an adult fantasy series. I believe this is going to be a trilogy, and I will be reading the second one because I have to order it. This was different from all of the other fantasy novels I've been reading. I'm not gonna lie, I think one reason that I wasn't so much into fantasy in like 2021, 2022 was because I kept reading the same thing, and it was always like medieval inspired, and I felt like it just felt like an excuse to be sexist. It was always the same thing over and over again. It's like, yes, there's magic, but like because it's only horses and, you know, swords and it's medieval inspired, and it completely excuses all these essay scenes. But this one is Indian inspired, so obviously already there, that makes it different. You're mainly following these two women, and one of them is a princess that was sent in exile because her brother wants to burn her alive and she doesn't want to. Crazy. And you're also following this woman who their nation is under the nation of the brother. I'm explaining this super well. And she is forced to become basically her servant and take care of her. The magic system is really intriguing, and the world building is really interesting because you're mainly following them most of the book actually in that setup. It's more character driven, but you can see how things are about to get even more intense in book 2. Actually, there's a third woman that also seems really interesting. A lot of complex female characters, and there's a slow burn romance, and yeah, I'm really curious to see how things are going to go. I actually need to double check what the ratings are for the rest of the series, but I will be ordering book 2, so that's always a good sign. Next is when I was filming my Read It or Unhaul It for December. That was I feel like some months it goes super well in terms that like I finish books, I'm enjoying myself, and then some months I keep DNFing books left and right, and that was my month. I DNF'd Luna, New Moon, I think, pretty quickly. Literally the first scene is about like undressed teenagers, and then right away it's after like the second page is about jobs, and I'm like, why the descriptions? Like, it's so weird. I'm like learning to put down books instantly when I'm just not feeling it, because one, I'm trying to declutter my bookshelves, and two, I really want to try to enjoy myself when I'm reading books. Like, why am I forcing myself? I feel like, to be fair, we've been like programmed to make excuses for all that stuff, and I'm just tired. Maybe it gets better, maybe it doesn't. It doesn't matter. I got rid of it. Well, I will get rid of it. And I also did not finish On a Pale Horse, which the concept sounded really interesting. This man ends up unaliving death, and he's forced to replace him. Cool. Didn't make it very far into the book because you could just already tell it was going to be bad with the female characters. And I read the reviews because, again, I had a gut feeling, and yeah, the reviews kept saying that really interesting concepts, but he's really awful with that stuff. So I decided to not finish it, and I picked another one from the jar, and it was this one. This is The Last Party by Claire McIntosh. This is my, I think, 4th book by her, and this is going to be my last one. I remember reading I'll Let You Go by her years ago, and I still think this is the best book that I've read by her. To be fair, it's been years, so I feel like sometimes you don't know, did my tastes change or like not improve, but you know, I got a bit more specific. I know more what I like and I don't like. And yeah, this was not good. I hated every single character in here, and everyone was unlikable. It's about like a murder mystery, and yeah, I wanted everyone to get. So yes, it's also the first book in a series, so I feel like you don't get 100% all of the answers, and that was really frustrating because I had no idea. And yeah, this was not good. I gave this 2-star. Like, this was not good. Frankly, I shouldn't have finished it, but because I had just put down 2 books, I felt bad and I felt forced, which was not something I should have done. Then I finished an audiobook. I finished Jade Shards by Fondali. This is the last novella I had left in the Greenbone saga. You have to read those, even the prequels, you have to read them after the trilogy. So don't ruin it for yourself. And this was cute. You get to see the characters from that series before the series, so obviously emotional if you've read it, because they're babies in the first book, or in the prequel, I should say. So yes, it was good. It was good, but I'm still feeling all the trauma, okay, from this series. I read book 2 and 3 and made it to my best books of the year, so yeah, not surprising that this was also great. And then I read Can't Spell Tea Without Treason. This is a cozy adult fantasy. I believe this is part of a duology, at least book 2 is out. I need to check it out. It's about something pirates. And in this one, you are following these two women. You have a magician and then a queen's guard. And something happened, they kind of escape and end up opening a bookshop slash tea shop in the middle of nowhere and develop some friendships. I believe this was inspired by Legends and Lattes. Is it possible? Or maybe it's just cozy and I'm just putting them all together because it has been, or it has become a thing for me. I've been really enjoying them and I want to read more. So if you have any recommendations, I'm definitely not done. I'm going to keep reading more. So this was really cute, cozy. It was what I needed after going through all of that. So would recommend it if you enjoy cozy, and I will most likely pick up book 2. I'll let my library get the audiobook. Is it the audiobook? I believe this was originally self-published, so there might not be an audiobook yet, so I might pick up the ebook or something. So we'll see. Next is going to be my unpopular opinion of the video. I read Come As You Are. I actually listened to it mostly as an audiobook, and it's going to be unpopular because I thought it was okay. I feel like I kept seeing people say that this is life-changing. It's a nonfiction about... Am I allowed to say this? YouTube is such a poo-poo head with that stuff. It's the surprising new science that will transform your sex life. There you go. I said it. Demonetize me. This was okay. I feel like this is definitely something that's going to be more helpful if, I don't know, you have more trauma or more trouble figuring out how to have a sex drive, or like how it's affecting you. Like sometimes people are like, I don't know why I don't want to, or I don't feel like it, and then when it starts I'm more into it. Like all of these questions that people do have. So I completely understand why it's been helpful to people. Personally, again, I have pretty much no opinion about it. It was fine, just not as life-changing for me as it has been for the people, but I will be recommending this book. So it is definitely just a me thing. So yeah, it was fine, but for me, just fine, yeah. Then I tortured myself. My gosh. I finished Madame Bovary, which was long. Very, very long. This is a French classic, obviously. It's like 500 pages. And my edition has like pictures. It's very cute. But my gosh, was it boring. I picked it up because it was part of the Patreon book club for Classic. And I'm not gonna lie, I had seen someone on TikTok say that this was like, oh my god, who told like Gustave Flaubert, the author, that women were like this, blah, blah, blah. So I was curious because not every classic has aged well, and I've read a lot of French classics and I was bored. I was so bored. And not that she was unrealistic per se, but I just found myself really annoyed. And like, I feel for you, like being, you know, forced to marry someone you don't really know and have their kids does sound incredibly boring, especially if you're stuck living at home. Like, I get it, but I could have lived without reading this. So the reason I'm so about it is because I'm pretty sure I'm currently reading, like I said earlier, the best book, the first good book of the year of 2024. I started The Will of the Many. This wasn't supposed to be part of my first reading vlog of the year, but I think it will be because I need to talk about it. I am doing my first vlog is going to be me reading your best books of 2023. I was curious and I didn't think this one would be included because it is pretty thick. I thought I would just read it. I bought a couple right in my last book haul, and now I'm enjoying it so much that I will be vlogging it. Actually, my post-it is not where it should be because cats. Do you want to guess which one? Because I have a feeling I know which cat did it. But I've read part 1. So I think it's the first like almost 200 pages or something. I'm going to have to find my spot later, but just silly freaking cats. This is also an adult fantasy. Who am I? I've missed it so much, and I do have a really good feeling about this one. This one is Roman inspired. It's giving very much like Red Rising, a revenge story. This prince from a nation has had to run away for his life because of the hierarchy. They use magic that's called will, so the will of the many. And there's a whole thing. So far I'm enjoying it. There is going to be is it considered magical school? If they don't really use magic, they're learning about it though, because apparently what they're learning is the same thing as when they've already used will. So I'm counting it as a magical school. I love them, so that's my excuse. And yeah, so far, very much enjoying it, enjoying the writing. I have yet to see the mention of a nipple, so I have a good feeling. I have a good feel. The bar low? Yes. Yes, it is. So now let's go back and choose one best book for the month of October, November, December, because it's fun. Why not? It feels a little torturous. I feel like some months it's really easy because there's only one good one. And then sometimes it's hard because there are so many good ones or none. Let's see. October, I had read 8 books. So it was a thing. I did not have a good time in October. If anything, shout out to As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow. It was good. It is YA though, so I wouldn't necessarily call it a favorite. I do think that the reason I finished it was because it was an audiobook. I did enjoy it, but again, it's very high on the romance, so not really my usual thing. So shout out to Finna, which was a pleasant surprise. It's like 100 and something pages. You have the main character, they just ended a relationship with their partner and they are forced to go work with them, and they work essentially at IKEA. And then a client disappears through like a wormhole, like a different universe, and they have to go and save them because they're the newest employee. So it is funny and like a little ridiculous of a premise, but like in a good way. So I enjoyed it. I do need to check out book 2. And then November, I finished 9 books, and it was a up and down kind of month. The best book was obviously Blood Over Brighthaven because yes, but also it was the best book by far. Of November. I think that's why I'm so excited that in January I'm starting with your favorite books, because I need some favorites. The last 3 months of the year were rough except for Blood Over Brighthaven. That was fantastic. And now December, to absolutely no one's surprise if you've listened to this vlog, this video, yes, The Jasmine Throne. I've been on a fantasy kick and I'm so into it. I'm so glad. I feel like I might even continue reading some Brandon Sanderson. I have yet to pick up the rest of the Stormlight Archive series. I have read only the first 2 books, and it's been like 2 years, I feel like, because I just was not in the mood to read like 1,000 pages, and now I can see myself doing that in 2024. So super excited. So that's it for the wrap up. I'm excited to look at my stats. I have yet to actually write them down, so it's going to be such a pain to actually fill up 100 something books. But I really enjoyed myself, even though I had a reading slump overall throughout the whole year. But I think, I shouldn't say that out loud, but I think it's over. I think it's over. I feel like we're starting fresh. It always feels so nice to start fresh. And I'm really going to try and focus on reading a bunch of books that I really want to give 5-star to, and I cannot wait to share with you my TBR for January because I have some really, really good books on there. So that's it. Thumbs up, subscribe. We'll put more videos on the screen that we're going to check out, and I will see you in my TBR next. Bye.